What's good, everybody? Today we're going to be looking at the new Mimighoul support that got announced on Monday for the stream. We got 7 new cards, so we're going to go over those, and then we're going to go through some replays that the new cards allow you to, what board they can make, really. So first, we're going to look at Slime. This one has one of the best flip effects in the entire archetype now, which is if it gets flipped, your opponent can summon one Mimighoul monster from their deck to their field. So it's just great for spamming, and paired well, you can summon a dragon off this and just get a lot of your engine going. Notably, they still all have the same effect to be able to special summon to your opponent's field face down. But now, if we look here, they have the ability to special summon themselves to your field if you can meet the requirement. So for Slime, it only requires that your opponent control more monsters than you do, so it's much better as a going second option for board spamming. But if we look at something like Fairy, which is the next new one, this one has the flip effect for your opponent to not be able to use the effects of special summon monsters from the hand this turn. Notably, this will turn off your own Mimighoul effects if you special them from hand, but we're going to try not to do that. And if we look at her special summon effect, it only requires that you control a Mimighoul monster yourself, and then it's a free extender. So it's one of your best extenders going first. So maybe play 2 of her instead of the one that I have here. This deck is not a real deck list. It's literally just all the cards put in so I can see what the combos are going to be. Next we have Mimighoul Armor. And if you look closely at it, it looks like it's just the Mimighoul Mimighoul Maker chest turned into a knight. So that's kind of cool for the lore. But this one has the effect that when it's flipped, Mimighoul monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. And then it has its own special summon effect, which is your opponent, if your opponent controls at least a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand to your side of the field. So it's actually really good for playing around Nib if you want to hold it. Otherwise, it's just a slightly worse extender than Fairy is, but still relevant enough to be played at least one. Next, let's take a look at the new XYZs. We have 2 of them. First, we're going to look at Throne. This is the one that's going to be on your end board almost every time. So it requires 2 level 1 Mimighoul monsters. You can detach from this card to special summon 1 Mimighoul Master from your hand deck or graveyard, which is a very nice free extension, free searching. And then during either main phase quick effect, you can target the master, equip it, it'll give it 1,000 attack, and notably, it'll compulse, non-target compulse, so basically Heretic Seal. And we all know that Heretic Seal is the best end board in the entire game, so that's a very good effect. And the other XYZ we have is Giant Mimighoul. Notably, does not require a Mimighoul monster to make, just 2 level 1s. And it allows your non-XYZ Mimighouls to attack your opponent directly. So that's actually really relevant when you think about that if you have Field Spell plus Master with the other XYZ, you have a 4K Master that can attack your opponent directly. So it's very likely that you're going to be able to OTK if they do not break your board. But for the actual relevant effects, when this card is XYZ summoned, you can add a Mimighoul card, and just any card. So that's great because the main cards you want to be searching in this deck are your spells and traps. So now you have an additional search alongside your dragon. So now you don't have to pick and choose about what you want to do. And lastly, you can detach material from this card, then target face-up cards on the field up to the number of face-down monsters your opponent controls, destroy them. And if you do, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent for each card destroyed. That's right, we are not losing in time anymore. The time part of this effect actually is crazy. Even without it, this card is one of the best supports we probably could have gotten. So it's very nice for a combo extension and all of that. And like I said, we have 7 cards. We've only gone through 5, so now let's look at the other 2. First, we have Mimighoul Charm. This was announced when ROTA was announced. so it's not too much of a surprise to see it here. And if you remember, this just has the effect that if the main phase of Mimighoul monster that your opponent controls was flipped face up, you can randomly choose one card in their extra deck. Well, face down extra deck, so no pendulum monsters. And then special summon it to your field if it can be special summoned, otherwise just banish it. So I put this on the side because it seems extremely bad going second. But this card definitely has utility. Most decks are playing the Fiendsmith package, so if you play it yourself, this card will allow you, partially of the time, to just be able to Fiendsmith combo without having to waste your own bodies to go into that. Otherwise, it's really good just to mess with your opponent's extra deck. As we can all tell, because we used to be playing the Kashtira Unicorn to do the same thing. And you can play Kashtira Unicorn in this deck still. I just chose not to because at a certain point it was just too many cards in the deck. So this is the version that I think I'm going to run for now until I can get real testing in. And lastly, another card that was announced. Well, it wasn't announced, it was leaked about a month ago. Mimighoul Fork. Not my favorite card, but it does have some good effects if we look at it. So you target one face down monster your opponent controls, and then your opponent gets the choice to either change it to a face up attack or defense position to trigger your Mimighoul effect, or they can just send it to the graveyard and then have you draw 2 cards. So at best, you're getting a body plus an effect, and at worst, you're going to get a trade-in, I guess would be the best way to explain this draw 2. You're not gaining advantage, but you're not losing advantage. 2 fresh cards. And then it also has a bonus effect in the graveyard that can banish itself to search for another copy, and each effect is a hard once. So that's all the new cards for the archetype. I don't think I'd play Fork, but I could be wrong when I'm actually able to test. So now if we look over here, I posted all the combos I could think of for starters. And I have them listed like this. So if we look, we have Maker here. So let's see what I decided to do on this. Fast forward, get the setup right. All right, so we're going to activate Maker. And then you're always going to reveal either Dragon and Archfiend, because this is the only only duo that no matter what gets summoned to your field and what gets summoned to your opponent's field, is still going to result in you being able to make a board. So for this combo, we decided that we're going to give our opponent a Dragon. And we're going to get the Archfiend. So we're going to use the Archfiend effect, flip the Dragon, get the Dragon back. Now we can make our new XYZ. So we're going to go for Throne here. We're going to use Throne effect to detach, summon out Master. Master effect will grab us a monster. And we're just going to grab Dragon. Normal the Dragon, because we have not normal summoned, and we did not use the Dragon on summon effect. Use Dragon effect, grab the field spell effect. We'll now grab an extender, which will be Fairy here. And since we control the Mimighoul monster, we can special summon it for the free. And now we have another XYZ set up, so we're going to go into the other giant. Use its effect on summon to get a free search for the trap. So this sets up a Seals Bounce 1 and a Book of Moon into a Floodgate from the dungeon. So now if we look at the other replay, it'll show you what happens if the Maker gives you the other combo. So we're going to summon the Dragon effect, grab the field spell. Field spell will search for an armor. And we're going to use the armor effect for a free special summon because this time our opponent controls a monster. And if you can use that armor, I would use it first instead of needing to burn the fairy, because the fairy is a little more flexible. So we're going to armor, go for the same play, go for Throne. Throne effect, summon out Master. Master effect, search for a normal summon. This time we're going to grab Archfiend because we have not used the Archfiend effect yet. Archfiend's going to flip up the other Archfiend. Now Archfiend's going to draw us a card, discard a card from our opponent, and the draw doesn't matter here, so I just grabbed a non-engine so that no one got confused. But it's the same combo, but we get a draw one. So we're going to use the effect search. I'm yapping in the corner about what all the plays mean. So we're going to grab the trap. It's one of your best cards to end on. And then I mentioned back here that we can grab fairy here and just go for a link 2 rather than grabbing trap, but trap's probably your safest bet. So next combo we have is if we only open with dragon. Fast forward to this being the correct hand. All right, so we're going to normal summon the dragon. As you're going to see, most of these combos end up being very similar. It just matters what you have to do to get to the same combo. So this time we had to burn our normal summon on dragon to get to the maker, and that's maker combo. Except this time, since you already summoned dragon and use the effect, you don't want to be revealing dragon. Instead, you want to reveal Archfiend plus slime because it has the largest upside possible, and nothing else relevant matters for other cards you could grab. This used to be where you would do Maker into Archfiend and Cerberus to maybe get an extra body, but Slime is just better in this situation now. So this time we're going to go Giant first, so that we can grab the Field Spell. And then Field Spell effect, search for Armor. And then we're going to special summon the Armor. And this only leaves you on a link 2. Not very good. Otherwise, what you can do is use the Giant to just search the trap. Then you don't have a floodgate or follow-up, really, if the trap gets stopped. I might go over that in here. And yeah, I'm just showing what the link 2 options really are right now. So we have IP to go into SP on your opponent's turn. You have Rabbit to set the Angel statue, or you have Moon to go into Fiendsmith combo. These are the most relevant ones. The deck is budget, so likely for you, if you want to be super budget with the deck, Rabbit's your cheapest option. Otherwise, if you want to be really cheap, you can just do IP into Underworld Goddess as your play, or Nightmare Phoenix. Just will not be as good of an interruption. So I think we go back here, and we're going to show if you get lucky on the 50. Yep. So this time your opponent got the slime and you got the Archfiend. So we're going to Archfiend effect, flip over slime effect, summon out a body. And I say in the corner, it doesn't really matter what you summon. You can summon Master off this, but there's no point to because the XYZ is going to be on your end board no matter what. The only thing that does is it doesn't force you to use the XYZ to summon Maker. So now you can seal bounce for 2. But I don't think that's exactly worth it. So instead, we're just going to summon another slime. Now I talk in the corner that this is your 5th summon of the turn. So you're going to go into Giant first instead of Throne, because Giant's search effect is on the summon, while the Throne is an ignition effect, so you can get nibbed before you can get the follow-up. So we grab the Field Spell here, then we go into Throne effect, summon out the Master effect, grab an Extender, because this time we have enough bodies to end on the seals plus the link 2 play again. And I think I just go through and show them all again. Yep. So we're going to activate the Field Spell, grab slime to summon out of their field. And I think I talk in here, unless it's the next replay. Yep, how good the follow-up is here. Otherwise, you could just grab Trap. Same thing as last time. And end on that. Or, third option, instead of having a monster in your opponent's field, you can instead search for the Armor and not summon armor. Just let it sit there in your hand, because if your opponent did not know your deck did and was just holding the Nibiru, they are going to Nibiru you when you end your turn. And what this allows is, since it doesn't require you to control Mimighoul, it just requires your opponent to have a monster on their field to be able to special summon itself. So what this does is, if they nib you, you can still special summon this, and then go through Fiendsmith combo, and you'll still end on something, which is important. I think I just say that. Yep, and that's the end of that one. So this time we're going to look at the Field Spell plus Archfiend / Slime combo. Yep. So this combo is just Field Spell and one of these two monsters. Doesn't matter which one, you're just going to search the other one with the dungeon. I show that. So what you're going to do is you're going to summon the slime to your opponent's field, then normal summon your Archfiend to flip up. This is a safer play than just using your dungeon to search for dragon, because if they have Imperm, they can just Imperm the dragon if you normal summon it. This plays around Imperm better, because this is going to get you 3 bodies before they have a chance to Imperm you. So yes, we're going to summon the dragon off this, use the dragon effect. Here they can Imperm you, but you already have 3 bodies, so you can still do enough of the combo to be worth it. So here we're going to grab Maker. Maker effect, you already used all your relevant cards, so you're just going to reveal 2, it doesn't matter which. Just do not reveal your only copies of either of the extenders of Armor and Fairy, because they're good to help you play through things. Same thing here, we're going to summon Throne first. Not Throne first, we're going to summon a Giant first. Yep, I went back on that. Because again, if they don't know what your deck does, they're going to keep holding the nib and try to figure it out more. So you want to get the on-summon search first to play around it a little bit better. So we're going to search for the room. Then we're going to summon Throne effect, summon out the Master effect, grab the extender. Yep, we're going to grab Armor here first, because in this situation you have a monster in your opponent's field still. So it works as both, if you choose to hold, or if you choose to keep extending. Yep, I just keep talking in the corner about the same things. Yep, go for link 2, link 2, link 2, link 2. And you have the trap. I know it's tripling, but I know for a fact that that is the end of it, because I already recorded this once and it stopped working. For this combo, it was just Field Spell. So we're going to Field Spell, search for Dragon, and then it's just Dragon combo, but this time you already searched one of your spells. You open with one of your spells, so you can get both spells and traps that you need for this combo, and not have to pick and choose. So yeah, we're just fast forwarding because we already saw this combo. Summon out, search for the extender, make link 2, otherwise search for Armor, hold for the nib. And we're putting back because, once again, this combo had the Maker. So we high rolled the first time, and this time we're doing the combo if you get Slime instead. I talk about if you can do one of the 2 XYZs, and I think we go through both lines. So if you start with Giant, all you can really do is search for the trap. If you grab an extender, you don't have any plays other than just going into link 2s. It's not very helpful. You already used your normal summon, so there's no way to make another XYZ. What I elect to go for is grabbing Throne, going Throne first, and then Throne summoning Master effect, search for a Slime, I believe. Yes. And then special summoning the Slime to the opponent's field so you have better follow-up. Plus the Seal's bounce, rather than just having the Book of Moon. Yep. So if you lose a 50, the deck does get a lot worse. But if you win the 50, your end board's pretty darn good. And also remember that your Maker and Graveyard is also going to be able to force your opponent to flip summon either of these along with your maker if they can play without their normal summon. So that's going to do it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you are interested in the deck, please join the Mimighoul Facebook. Mimighoul Duelist is the name. Don't be afraid to come in. It's a very good place to learn the deck, see some deck lists, and argue with some people if you're into that, I guess, and don't agree with their comments. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time.